everyone, Amanda here. So today's video is for to explain the very bare basics of beginning junk journaling as a hobby. I do it as a sideline hobby along with all my millions of other hobbies. And quite a lot of people who follow me have been asking, what do I do, what do I use, how do you start, and things like that. So I'm going to do a few videos. Today I'm going to explain some of the things that I use, where to find them, and the very bare basics of things that you need. Most of them, if you're a crafter, you'll already have. So it's not an expensive hobby at all. Like anything, you know, your hobby can be as expensive as you make it, but it really doesn't need to be. Alright, so the first thing that I use is I do use digital images in my junk journals. That is just what I like to do because I love the beauty and the artwork in these. And I choose to get mine from a lady called Andrea, and her shop is called Arte Maze. Artymaze, okay, and you'll find her on Etsy, and she also has a website and a Facebook page. And I use her because her work was recommended to me when I very first ever wanted to try it by a friend, so that's just where I've gone. And I am starting to venture and look at other digital sellers. There's absolutely loads out there, so you know, not just the ones I use. Go and find what you like. This is what I like. I love them. I have looked at others and some are very, very beautiful, but just a little bit pricey for me. I like Andrea's prices. So this is going to be a sewing theme. Okay, so what I've done is I've printed these out. So you buy the digital images, you download them and you print them out. Now if you don't have a printer, you don't have to make your journal from digital images. I'm going to do another video where I construct a page of my journal, just totally random, not using a one of these, okay? So I will typically use these as pages. So they print out on A4, and then you know, you can just fold it in half, trim the border off, and you can have it that size, which that's about 5.5 by 7 3/4, that, obviously. Yeah, because some's been trimmed off and it's A4. But you can trim them down smaller to make it into a TN size, which is typically just a little bit slimmer, but you can do what you want. Okay, and you can also use these images and chop them up and collage with them. You don't have to use them as they come. I like them to use them as they come. I don't fill my entire journal with just these. I scatter them through as like feature pages. And I print them on, I think, is it 120 GSM copy of paper, good quality. This is presentation quality paper. I think it's 120. It's, you know, it's not your standard photocopy paper. It's a little bit thicker. And the reason being, if you use standard photocopy paper, you know, that ink could run through to the back. If you look at these, it doesn't run through. All right. Now, mine is just an inkjet printer. So, if I want to colour the back of these pages, I will use distress inks, or, you know, I'll splatter. I wouldn't go and start sticking this in a vat of coffee to dye it, because it could make the ink on the other side run. But I think if you've got a laser jet printer, then it's you know, it's safe to do that. I think you can soak them and coffee dye them without the colours running. Alright, but there's lots and lots, and what I typically do is either decorate the back page with something, or stamp it, or add pockets and tags or whatever. So that's the very bare basics. So that's the digital images, and the kits come with the full pages like so. And then there's also pages where you've got like ephemera. So, you know, you might have a page like that with ephemera that you cut up. You might have a page with pockets like so, like these, and you cut them out and construct them. And also you might get tags and belly bands and all sorts of things. Okay, you don't just get the plain pages. So it's a very, very easy way of learning how to make your own books and journals. And the other things that I do use, I do coffee dye my own paper. When I'm coffee dyeing the paper, I coffee dye 2 weights. This is standard, just I think it's 80 or 90 GSM copy paper. Okay, and I would use that then as a page and just have it for writing. So because that's only thin, I wouldn't start sticking pockets on it. I wouldn't, you know, put anything heavy on it. I'd have it just for writing. And the same with lined. This is just out of a standard notebook, lined paper. All right, and then obviously, you know, it would go like so, and you create in your pages. And what I also do is, here's some of the heavier weight paper. This is the presentation paper, and I'll coffee dye some of those as well, in case I want to create a page that I'm going to put tags on it, or I want to make a pocket or a flip out. I'll use the sturdier paper for that. But if it's just for writing, or also what I do with the cheaper, not necessarily cheaper, thinner weight paper, is I'll have it to hand and I will use it to, if I've got an example, I'll use it to line tags and things like that. Okay, so that's what I do also with the thinner. I also have various sized envelopes. These are just very, I've bought these from Wilko's in the UK, which is El Cheapo. You can get them anywhere, and I have them all coffee stained, and then I can decorate them. And as you see, I've got various sizes. And another thing that I have also got, but I haven't got one to hand, I've only got a decorated one, and that's this. And it's basically a little CD envelope, and I bought these in Asda in the UK, and I paid about 50, were they about £2 for loads of them? I can't remember, but they're very inexpensive. And I just like how you've got that little window there. And if you're very careful and very quick, you can coffee dye them without them falling to pieces. You might need to go back and re-glue the tabs, but then because you've got that window, that's just a cute little pocket there, and then I'll glue that to the back of a page on 3 sides, so then I can have another tag down the back, and then I've got that little girl there. So that's another idea. I also buy these index cards, which I think I got these from probably Asda, if I'm honest. You don't go very far. It's either Asda or that shop that should not be mentioned, beginning with the letter R. So yeah, I just buy these. Again, they're inexpensive. I probably paid £1 for a pack of, I don't know, they might be 50 or 100. Just splattered it with coffee there, and I can use those as journaling cards. I can decorate them, or I can leave them as they are. Alright, so the other thing that I do with the copier paper is I turn them into corner flips. I learned how to do this from my friend Kay. I believe she maybe learned it from Yvonne Preston. There's loads of videos out there. I don't know who has invented everything, so you know, I just do what I do. So those are just, you know, you can make them any size you want. I think these are like 4x4. You're just cutting a square, rounding off the corners, ink it, and that will glue on 2 sides on the corner of a page, and you can have a little flip there, and then you can tuck things behind it, and again you can decorate those beautifully. I'm just going to give you a couple of examples of how I've used some of these things. I also always have some vintage book pages. I get them very cheap, like from charity shops. Some vintage books can be very expensive. Don't go paying a fortune. I recently went into a charity shop and bought a quite a popular book that's used in journals, and it's a book on birds, and I paid something like 50p for it. And then I went into like a vintage bookshop, and the exact same book was in there for £12. So they're probably just buying them from the charity shop and whacking a load of profit on. Paper bags, I've got some accounting paper there that I've given. Okay, and what I'll do is, before I use the last sheet of this, because I was gifted it, I will photocopy that. and I'll save it on my PC, and then if I want it, it's there all the time to print out. So that's another thing I do. I'll photocopy things or scan it into my PC. Just be mindful of any copyright. There's no copyright on that. I wouldn't have thought so. Just be mindful of copyright, which is another reason why I like to use the digital images, because you know that I'm not infringing on copyright. I know that the shop that I buy them from adheres to copyright stringently and would never ever break any rules, and so I know I'm safe to use them, okay? So just be mindful where you do buy things. Make sure it is from a reputable digital kit seller. You know, do your homework. Don't just buy from random people on AliExpress when it comes to digital images, because you know, not that there's a problem with AliExpress. Wherever you can get your bargains, you get them, but they aren't guaranteed that they're adhering to copyright laws. Okay, and it's unfair. So just be mindful. What else do I have? I always have just little tubs on my desk when I'm journaling. These get put away when I've got to work my Stampin' Up business. But this one is for scraps. So if I've made something, I've got some bits left over, don't throw it away. I mean, that bit of book page there, you might think, well, throw it in bin. But I could I could chop that little word out and I could line it on. I am very, very, very scrimpy when it comes, you know, and I'll save them. But I'll use them as well. I keep it on my desk and I do use them. What I don't do and what I don't agree with is having pots and pots and pots and pots full of stuff. You know, once that's full, I will sit and I will try and use it up rather than have it mounting up. And then you don't know what to do with it. You get overwhelmed and you end up throwing it in bin. That's not the point, is it? And then here I've also got, I've just recently bought some doilies, so I'll cut them in half, I'll ink them up and use them for decoration. I've got some packaging, that's a spare, that's a little offcut. So bits and bobs that, you know, I might have cut off while I'm making something else, I'll save them. And then here I've got, that doily stuck on there, some die cut elements to use, like I had these, I think they're Tim Holtz given, but I've only got so many, so I've then gone and made some of my own and some words and things like that. So you can just sit and make those, you know. I've already got the card, I've already got the dies, I've got plenty of stamps. You could handwrite it, you could type the words on your computer and print them out. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money at all. I think that's it. Another thing that I do as well, glassine bags. I'm not paying, I have previously paid an arm and a leg for glassine bags off of sellers. I'm not doing it again. What I use now, thanks to my lovely friend Kay, who's about as scrimpy as I am, I use this, which is baking paper. It's more or less the same effect, and I will just literally chop squares up, sew around them and cut the top with some crinkly scissors. And that's it, and then you can decorate them. You can use them as tuck spots, you can do what you want. And how much did I pay for this? I paid £1. £1. It's non-stick baking paper and there's 8 metres there. I can make little fake glassine bags to my heart's content for £1. I paid more than that for just 4 little bags before from one seller. I'm not doing it again. Alright, this you can get brown paper, you can reuse boxes, I'll stop rattling that, reuse envelopes, and every little bit I save. I've coffee stained an envelope there and I've chopped it down, and then this bit here I'll save and I'll use that as a tuck spot somewhere. Nothing gets wasted. That is the joy of junk journals, and the challenge for me is to have a digital kit for the pretties and then the rest of it to try and make the whole thing just out of bits. Okay, I've got a bit of seam binding, I've got a bit of this, I've got a bit of book page, and I will use that, and that is what will go in my journal. So I'm going to leave that with you, and then I'll do another video where I'm just quickly going to show you some elements that I've made, and then I'm going to do another one where I'm decorating a page, a plain page, to share some ideas of what you can do. So I hope that helps. Those of you that are out there that have been doing junk journals forever, this, you know, this video don't really apply to you. I've done it to, I'll just put these here for you to look at. I've done it, you know, because people have been, who follow me, have been asking. So there you go, and I will come and do some process videos because you know, people have asked, and I've been like, I don't know, it takes me a long time and it might be a bit boring, but I'll do a few. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.